Hi, welcome to this video. So this one kind of goes partly with a couple of other videos that I've done. One was on sound design of making an epic pad. There's then a performance video that uses this sound, and this one is just about MIDI mapping basically, and using an external controller to change the parameters on the Deluge. Which, if I'm being honest with you, I kind of struggled a little bit. I must have read the page on the manual, which is actually quite simple instructions millions of times, and I just couldn't seem to get it to work. And then I realised I was being a complete idiot and I was doing something wrong. And there didn't seem to be any videos out there on explaining how to do it. So I'm going to show you now, just in case you're having the same problems as me. So the reason I wanted to sort of MIDI map some of the controls on here is that I've got three parts in this song. The first one is this kind of bass pad sound. The second bit is like an arpeggiator. Okay, and then the third part is a bit that I actually play live over the top, straight from the Deluge. But what I wanted to be able to do is, while I was playing this, I wanted to be able to gradually open up the filters on the other two parts, which obviously if I'm playing on here, I can't go back and do it from here, so I needed some sort of external control. So what I've done is I've mapped the MX-1 to control it. So for the first track here, if I play that, this dial here is opening and closing the filter. If I just open it up, you can see the filter there. Obviously you can hear it changing, but you can see that as well. And then I've mapped the slider to the volume as well. Same thing on the second track for the arpeggiator. Okay, I've got that controlling, and then volume. So what I'm going to do for the third track, obviously I could, if I'm playing this, I can use the controls off the Deluge to do it, but I'm going to just map it to here anyway, just so you can see how we do it. So, connection-wise, all I'm doing is very simple. I've got the 5-pin MIDI out from the MX-1 going to the in of the Deluge. Now, where I was going wrong is, if you read in the manual, what it says is you hold down the Learn button and then press the pad or the parameter or whatever that you want to map. So what I was doing was holding this down and then pressing that, because I wanted it to affect the filter on there, and as you can, I don't know if you can see that, but it says can't, and I was like, why can't you? I want to be able to do it. And then I realised that you don't do it that way. You've got to select the pad off here that opens up the filter control, if that makes sense. So I'll show you. It's the easiest thing. So let's say I want to map this dial here to change the filter cutoff of this sound on the synth. So we've got to select it on here first. So we press Shift and select and get that flashing, and that is now kind of active on the screen. All you then do is you hold down Learn, press down on the pad that we want it to do, to learn on, like that. Okay, that will stop flashing. Is still flashing. When I now turn this, you'll see on here, hopefully, it says Learn. So now when I turn this, you can see it's now changing the dyne here, or changing the amount, I should say. So I've now got filter control over that, and that's basically how you do it. So it's remembering you've got to select it off the pads here, not off the dials. So if I want to map the fader there to the volume of this sound, I would do that to the master volume down here. So first thing I would do is Shift and select it, then hold down Learn. This is where I'm not going to have enough fingers to do it. I'll do it that way. So we hold down Learn, hold down the one we want to put map, turn that, and then it flashes and it's done. So we've now got volume control of that from an external MIDI controller. So any external MIDI controller will do that, as long as it sends out CC messages, because that's basically all it is. Obviously, you're going to need, for doing it like this, you're going to need an external MIDI controller that has 5-pin MIDI connections out. I'm still trying to work out the easiest way of doing it with something that only has a MIDI USB out, because I've got launch control, which would be quite useful, because that's got quite a few dials and stuff on it for doing it this way round. And I'm thinking, what I'm guessing the only way we'd be able to do that is to route that sort of through, I don't know, something like Ableton Live, and then back out into here via the USB on here, because that would have to go into there. But when I've worked out a simple way of doing that, I'll perhaps do another video on that if people are interested in that. But if you've got a MIDI controller with a standard 5-pin MIDI cable out, it's as simple as that. If you want to delete something, I found what it actually said in the manual didn't seem to work, because it said, let's say I wanted to get rid of that. It says, hold down learn and press it again, and it doesn't delete it. What you need to do is hold down shift and learn. Okay, and it's just come up there, it flashed up unlearn. So if I now turn this dial, you can see that's no longer controlling that. So if I want to relearn it, hold on, not got enough hands that way around. Okay, and it will learn it again. Okay, so to get rid of it, you hold down, get the parameter that you've mapped, and then shift learn, and you can see it's unlearned it. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that's helped a few of you out if you want to control some of the external stuff with a MIDI controller, because at first I thought, well, why would you want to do that? You've got all your controls on here. But obviously it realizes if you're playing this live from this pad view here, obviously you can't continue to play live and then go to the other menus to change stuff. I suppose the other option would be to have an external MIDI keyboard and play this part, so we're not in that view. But even then, if you're playing like a keyboard, you've still got to then kind of keep opening up and going into that. And if you're playing the keyboard, you can't do it this way around and hold down your pad and do that. So it's very useful, actually, I think, adding an external MIDI controller to it if you need to adjust parameters over time while playing something at the same time. That's something I think might be quite useful from a live point of view also. So yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Usual things, please like, subscribe, share the videos around. If you've got any questions or comments, stick them in the box below. Go and check my music out on iTunes, Spotify, whatever. If you're a Spotify user, go on, follow me, and then you'll get notifications on your release radar when I put new stuff out, because I put new songs out very, very regularly. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.